With less than 1 week to go until the first Republican presidential debate in Milwaukee, 8 candidates have reached the RNC-mandated donor and polling thresholds to qualify for the debate stage. You can see them on your screen here. Former President Trump is not committed to showing up, but NBC News confirms he will be sending some top surrogates to Wisconsin to spin. I think we already kind of know he's not coming. Qualifying for the debate closes on Monday night. And as of right now, former Arkansas Governor Asa Hutchinson, former Texas Congressman Will Hurd, and Miami Mayor Francis Suarez are on the outside looking in. Hutchinson is short of the required 40,000 donors. Suarez and Hurd have not yet reached 1% in enough polls. Additionally, Hurd says he will not sign the RNC's loyalty pledge. Of course, Donald Trump has also said he's not going to sign the loyalty pledge, so we'll see how that goes. Joining me now is one of the 3 candidates trying to qualify for this debate. It's the Republican mayor of the city of Miami, Francis Suarez. Mayor Suarez, welcome to the show. Good to see you.
Thanks for having me, Chuck. I appreciate it.
Before I get to the debate stage and some of the technical questions about which polls qualify and all of this business, I took a look at your last FEC report, and it did not list a single campaign staffer on your campaign. I know you have a super PAC that does a lot of the heavy lifting financially. Do you have any paid campaign staffers on your campaign for president, on Suarez for president now?
We do, and we'll be reporting that in the next report. We have brought on some campaign staffers, and yes, we will have that. But we've been very lean and mean. We haven't had to fire any campaign staffers, I can tell you that much. And I know some campaigns have had to fire up to 50% of their campaign staffers. So we're certainly, a candidacy that has been somewhat insurgent and growing. We certainly don't want to peak too soon, right? We're
Do you have an Iowa State director?
We do not. We do not at this point have
Why
an
not?
Iowa State director. Because we're working on this campaign in an incremental fashion. Our next goal has been to make the debate stage, which we believe we will make. And that'll be my first opportunity to really introduce myself to the country. The first opportunity that I had to introduce myself to Iowa was only a couple of weeks ago. I've only been in the race, as you know, for a couple of months. And so I was able to do that at the Lincoln Day dinner, a GOP dinner just a few weeks ago. I think people were surprised by someone who has a message of unification, who is a mayor, who gets things done, who was elected by 85% and reelected by 80%, and has, focused on a prosperity agenda for the country, not some of the divisiveness that we're seeing today out of Washington, every single day, really.
You brought up your time as mayor, and you're currently mayor, but I think a lot of people who didn't, full disclosure, you may know this. I grew up in, my address is Miami, Florida, but I didn't grow up in the city of Miami. I grew up in unincorporated Miami-Dade County. It was Dade County then.
Nobody's perfect, Chuck. Nobody's perfect.
In Kendall, east of the Turnpike, as I always like to say.
Yes.
But it's a part-time job. And I'm curious why you treat it like a part-time job. I want to show all the different associations you have. Right now, you're a member of a law firm. I think the Miami Herald has here. You're an active lawyer at Quinn Emanuel Law Firm. You're a senior operating partner at DeGrossa Capital. You're a board member of Emerge Americas, a consultant for Location Ventures, a board member of Palmetto Solar, a strategic advisor to Redivider Blockchain, and the mayor of the city of Miami. How much time do you spend as mayor of the city of Miami versus the other jobs?
I spend 100% of my time being the mayor of Miami, 100% of my time being a father, 100% of my time on my private sector activities. And I can tell you the voters that I talk to are very, very much appreciative of the fact that as a candidate, you're tethered to the private sector. One of the things that's unique about my candidacy is if you notice the other candidates, they either have total private sector experience, and that's the only experience they have, or some that have been their entirety in the public sector and are untethered to the private sector. And that shapes their policies, that shapes their rhetoric, and oftentimes creates scenarios that are, in my opinion, anti-business. I think the fact that I'm a candidate that has both, and let me tell you, there's no such thing as a part-time mayor. It may be part-time in terms of some of the way people describe it, but when you're running $1.5 billion company with 4,500 employees, 4 labor unions, and right before I came to New Hampshire, I had to receive a phone call about one of my police officers being pinned against a car and having lost her arm from the elbow down, and being in a hospital, in a public hospital, and having to hear the doctors share that story with her family. There's nothing part-time about that. That's something that you live with every single day.
Are you going to, if you were the nominee for president, would you disclose every single company that paid you while you've been mayor of Miami? Can you guarantee that you're getting these jobs because they want you and not your title as mayor of Miami?
Yeah. Yes, absolutely. And by the way, I'll go a step further than that. Actually, I have to file a federal FEC report where I'll be disclosing all that. So every income that you receive that's over, I want to say it's a very low threshold, like $5,000, you have to disclose. And so the federal FEC disclosures are very comprehensive, and absolutely I have to file them and will, and that'll disclose all of them. I also intend at the appropriate moment to file my, to declare my income taxes, as most presidential candidates have done, throughout the history of
most. You are right about most. Are you going to release all of them?
I mean, how far do you want me to go back?
10 years?
I'll release.
Yeah.
I'll go back. I'll go back as far as all the candidates do. I won't do anything that will be any special in any way.
What should voters take away from the fact that your net worth went up so much while you've been mayor of Miami? I mean, is it a coincidence?
I think they should take away the fact that I'm a successful private sector citizen, the fact that I'm 45 years old. I've been in public service since I was 32, and I've been working every single year since I began. And of course, I'm allowed to do that as by law.
It is legal. I do want to look. In fairness, I'm doing accountability stuff. This is what I do. It's perfectly legal. Right? There's stuff, and there's stuff that. Trust me, growing up in Miami, a lot of us wondered, wow, that works that way. The city of Miami is actually a little tougher than some of the other cities within the county.
And there are very strict disclosures that you have to file as well as a public official that are very intrusive. And I file them and I follow all the rules. But I am proud of my private sector success. I think it's something that voters actually look favorably upon in the discussions that I've had with them.
Let me ask you about another interesting aspect of your political journey here to this campaign for president. You made it clear you didn't vote for Donald Trump in 2016, and you never said who you vote, whether you did vote for him or not in 2020. And now you're a big sort of defender of Donald Trump. What changed?
No, look, I didn't vote for him in 16 or in 20. I wrote in a Republican candidate in 16, and I wrote a Republican candidate in 20, the person who I thought at that moment was best to lead the country. I think what happens is, in interviews that you do, oftentimes, and I say this respectfully, the moderators want to talk about another candidate versus your own candidacy, your own ideas for the future of the country. And so I'm responding to those. And I am very worried. And part of the reason why I'm running for president is because I'm worried about Joe Biden's America, right? I'm worried about Bidenomics. I'm worried about, a candidate that calls Hispanics, an ethnic group that I'm a part of, Latinx, or says that they're as unique as San Antonio tacos, right? For me, as a Hispanic Republican candidate for president, I want to win Hispanics, which are 20% of the country, 60 million Americans. By the way, are 20% undecided. And as you know, Chuck, the last two presidential elections have been decided by less than 100,000 votes. If a candidate can win Hispanics, they can win the presidency, particularly a Republican. As a mayor, I've also demonstrated an ability to change an urban area like my community, which was plus 30 for Hillary the year before I got elected by 85%. Right. And the year after I got reelected went plus 10 for the Republicans. That is a 40-point swing. I think we can do that across America and win urban areas. And I also think we can win young voters who the Republican Party lost to Joe Biden by 26 points. I don't think the president, with all due respect, is a paragon of youth and vigor, and someone that can peel away young voters from a generational candidacy like mine that has demonstrated an ability to create high-paying jobs in my community. We're number one in
I understand your argument against Joe Biden, but you've got to get through Donald Trump first. Is Donald Trump still qualified to be president after his behavior on January 6th?
You said something in your segment that, the candidates need to meet the moment. And then at the end, you said something to the effect of that the voters are the ones that are going to have to step up. The voters are the ones that make this decision. They're the ones that have rewarded him over the last few indictments. What I'm trying to do is
why are they doing that?
Well, you have to ask them. But I can tell you this. I'm in New Hampshire for the last 2 days. Not one voter has mentioned the indictments to me. But let me tell you what I talk to them about as a threshold matter. I tell them, do you want a repeat of the 2020 election? And the answer almost invariably is no. Right. And then I say, well, we're heading in that direction. And so what I'm trying to do is give people a different personality, a different set of policies, and a different profile that can win frankly, win not only landslide electoral college vote, but could also win the popular vote for Republicans, which I don't think we've done since, I think, the late 1980s.
George Bush did it in 2004, but you're right. It was once since then. Very quickly, if you don't make the debate stage, you've been open. You said, hey, if you can't get on the debate stage, you probably ought to drop the campaign. Are you going to live by those words?
I will, but I'm going to make the debate stage. I can tell you that. I feel very confident about it. We'll hopefully be making a big announcement on it soon when we get to the threshold. But I feel very confident about it. And by the way, I think that once the American public gets to know me, knows who I am, knows what I'm about, I'll make the next debate stage, which is an even higher threshold. I think it's a 3% threshold. So it's, you have to grow from that opportunity. Right. It's imperative I'm on there as one of the 8 candidates. I'm excited about being on there, and I'm preparing to be on there.
Are you going to be there no matter what? Or if they tell you didn't make it, you're not showing up?
Let's put it this way. I've already bought my tickets and booked my hotel room, but I feel confident that we will make it and that we'll be making an announcement to that effect soon.
All right, Mayor Suarez. We'll see. We'll be looking to see if Lionel Messi. We'll see if Lionel Messi shows up with you. That would help in your spin room.
I think he's going to be. Is it tonight that he plays, or is it coming up now that he has his next game? So we're going to win that championship, hopefully.
All that is more money for Apple TV Plus. Mayor Suarez,
and for Miami's ecosystem.
There you go, Mayor Suarez. Thanks for coming on and sharing your views. Be safe on the trail.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Follow today's top stories and breaking news by downloading the NBC News app.